Conversations with the Citizen. I am your host, Tia Carol Jones. I'm here today with Percy Scott. Percy is the president and founder of Global 360 Marketing and co-founder of PR Pop-Ups. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tia, for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a product of Robbins in the south suburbs. I grew up with my mother and my father were both blind. My father left when I was 5 years old. So I was raised primarily by my mother and my community. And in doing so, my mother couldn't really see to show me things, but she gave me insight on how I should act, how I should carry myself, what I really wanted in life. And so she encouraged me to trust my community to help me to get the things that I wanted. And that's what I did. I played football. I was really good at school. I got a full scholarship to Illinois State, graduated with an industrial technology degree. I went on to play football in the Arena League. And then I guess I thought I knew everything at that point. And I did, when 9/11 hit, I lived in Bloomington, Illinois at the time, where the corporate State Farm was, the biggest insurer of the country. And everybody was afraid that the Taliban was going to blow up State Farm so they couldn't have any insurance in town. And so after I graduated and playing football, I also started doing entertainment because I joined a fraternity, Iota Phi Theta, and I was always like the host. And so me and my fraternity brothers fell in love with it. We started a company called RSVP Enterprises. And so we would do like comedy shows and parties and things of that nature. And so I had this big idea that I was going to throw this huge family fun festival in Bloomington and get everybody to have fun again. And I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about advertising. I invested all my own money, didn't have any sponsors, and it rained the entire day.
Oh, no.
And so my entire life savings, me coming from Robbins, having nothing, to having $50,000 in the bank, was gone overnight. So that nice car that I had, gone. That beautiful girlfriend that I had, gone. That house, everything gone. I had to move back with my mother in Harvey and start all over again. And that's what I did. I started going business to business. I started working for a marketing company. We started going business to business, selling products for like Disney, Warner Brothers, NFL, NBA. I got really good at that. I started training people. I was eventually able to open up my own franchise in Davenport, Iowa. So I moved to Davenport, Iowa. I got married during this time, and I hated Davenport, Iowa. And so I was visiting one of my old teammates that I played football with. He worked for a radio station in Chicago. So I came back and he told me that I had the qualities and skills to be a really good account executive. I had no idea what it was. So he had a couple people come down and tell me. And 2 weeks later, I interviewed and I was back in Chicago working at one of the major radio stations in Chicago. I did that for 5 years and I realized that I really didn't like corporate America because when I was at the station, they would hire and fire people as they willed. And I knew that, you're only so big as the company and it really didn't matter about you. And so I just started leveraging my relationships. When the artists would come in town, I wouldn't talk to the artist, I would talk to the manager, get those contacts. And so I left the station and I started booking artists for my clients that I previously had. And so I started making more money just booking artists than I was working at the radio station. And so I decided to just go full time and I started working with a smaller agency. And then in 2012, I decided to open up my own, and we haven't looked back.
Wow. So let's talk about Global 360 Marketing and how those past experiences led you to start that firm.
Yeah, so with Global 360 Marketing, I wanted to have a company that I could help small mom and pop, just starting companies as well as medium-sized companies with the same professionalism, with the same skill set as if I was a huge marketing firm, like the Burrells and things of that nature. And so I went out and I found expert entrepreneurs and I convinced them to work with me as opposed to working for me. And so I found people who are PR specialists, who could do websites, who could do social media, and they did that specifically for themselves. I convinced them, if you work with the team, that we could all go further together. And that's what I did. The results were amazing. Now we have state grants. We run marketing for the county, for school districts, for small mom and pop businesses. And our major focus is to be that marketing arm for businesses that, they really want to focus on. If you're a chef, you're a chef. You're not a marketer.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we're able to help those companies where they do their services in excellence, but they just don't have the time or the staff to do their marketing or advertising. And so that's where we come in.
For those who are not familiar, what is PR Pop-Ups, and why did you want to create that business with your co-owner, Rita Lee?
So when the pandemic hit, everything changed. And so we had two options. A lot of people weren't advertising at the time. And so we had to come to a decision on what did we really want to do. And so I like to party. I'm sorry, I do. And I know everybody likes to have fun. Mm-hmm. And so I was talking to my friend Rita, and she was saying, we should really do something for the community. And we had saw in the news that McHenry was reopening their drive-in, and they were able to, have movies. And we were thinking, why would we want to drive all the way out to McHenry to have quality entertainment? Why can't we do something in our own communities? And that was the beginning of PR Pop-Ups. PR Pop-Up stands for Percy and Rita Popping Up.
Okay. All right.
So we created PR Pop-Ups. We started in Harvey, and we worked with the city. Mary Clark was a godsend to us because they were able to help us find space. We did movies where we supported not only the residents, but the first workers, what's the word I'm looking for?
Responders.
Yeah, first responders. And so we gave them a free movie.
Oh, okay.
And everyone told us it was crazy because we were doing it in Harvey. People were telling us it was going to get shot up, what are y'all doing? It's a terrible community.
Wow.
Well, we prayed on it, and God truly blessed us. Mm-hmm. And there was no incidents. We did it there for 3 months.
Okay.
We had people come in as far as Belleville, Wisconsin for entertainment because everything else was shut down. Right. Not one incident. Mm-hmm. Everyone was thankful. The nurses, the police department, the fire department, everyone came out and supported us in Harvey. Right. I met with the mayor of Hazel Crest, and he told me about a space that was 14 acres in Hazel Crest, and he said he wanted to bring what we were doing there. Mm-hmm. And so we moved to Hazel Crest because there was more space. We found 14 acres. Okay. And so now not only were we able to do drive-in movies, but now we were able to do drive-in concerts because we can hold enough cars. And so last year we did, on July 24th, we did a 3-day festival where we did DaBaby, we did Kiki Wyatt, and Jennifer Hudson popped up on us. And then we did The Chosen Few. So we had a little something for everybody. We had house music, hip hop, gospel, and R&B all at the same time. And it's been a true blessing throughout the year to not only help us, but help a lot of other organizations as well, because they were able to call us and fundraise by doing drive-in movies and drive-in concerts, and just using us as a vehicle to help them with that.
And you have been able to host really successful concerts. Most recently, the Isley Brothers concert in Hazel Crest. What other concerts do you have coming up?
So the Isley Brothers was the first of many.
Okay.
Where we're doing the real concerts,
okay.
What we call the real concerts. So it wasn't a drive-in. We actually had seats out there. Mm-hmm. What we're moving to now is we really want to make a dent in the media and the concert industry. We have partners, and we're accepting other angel investors now so that we can do the Jay-Z's of the world, the Beyoncé's of the world, because as you all know, Live Nation has a hold on a lot of our artists, mm-hmm. and then during the pandemic, those artists were starving. Mm-hmm. And so we were the ones who were hiring them to allow them to keep going through the drive-ins, and so now they're willing to support us. But we want to do bigger concerts because it's the same amount of work to do a 20,000 person concert than it is to do a 3,000 person concert. And so we just we're working on our funding now to do bigger shows. Yeah.
And why do you think the concert was so well attended?
Because people want to get outside. I mean, to have the Isley Brothers, Carl Thomas, Kendrick Family Soul, Shantae Savage, Sandy Red. I mean, it was just people that could sing. I mean, and the songs that they sang, the artists that we chose. I mean, it was just a feel good night. And so I think people really need to, get out of their comfort zone of being stuck in the house and cramped up. People want to get out, and this was a safe way to get out and truly have a good time.
Aside from creating PR pop-ups, how have you had to pivot and change the way you do business during COVID-19?
So a lot of the business that we took on during COVID-19 came from the state, simply because there's a lot of grants that were going out, like the big grant. So they hired our company through Chamber 57. I'm also the executive director of the Rich Township Chamber of Commerce, which we call Chamber 57. And through that, we were able to help hundreds of businesses in the south suburbs in Chicago gain funding for their businesses during this time. And so we were able to use our marketing firm to really establish a stronghold in the south suburbs as well as the south side of Chicago to make sure that businesses are aware. So, a lot of times there's all of these benefits that go out, but our people don't know about them. And so I'm thankful to the state, to the county, that they trusted, our company as well as a number of others to get the message out to our people in a way that they could accept it, hear it, learn it, and then apply it. And so for the last year and a half, we've been working really heavy with the state and with the county to help push out the information about grants, about PPP, about the census when it was going on, all of those things that are important to our community. Just yesterday we did a press conference, Wednesday, where the state is now opening up a new Back to Business grant. And we just did a press conference in Matheson about that, where the state has about $250 million for small businesses, and it goes in increments from $5,000 to $150,000 for small businesses to get. And these are grants, so you don't have to pay it back. And so we're starting that campaign right now to make sure we're getting that message out. And if you want to know how to fill that out, you go to illinois.gov/DCEO. D as in dog, C as in cat, E as in Edward, O. And you can fill that out, Back to Business grant. But there's a lot of money out there, but we have to apply. And the biggest thing is if we don't apply, we're just giving that money away to other people.
What advice would you give young entrepreneurs?
Don't quit. It is so easy to quit. It is so easy to get frustrated. With the pandemic, with people, it is so easy to get distracted and have other people bring you down. So many people ask me why am I doing what I do? There's a lot of times I used to do marketing for people for free. They wouldn't pay me, and I still did it anyway because I wanted to see them win. And that has always helped me because, as good as I am for marketing for other people, sometimes I don't do a good job talking about myself and talk about my own services, but thankfully our services speak for themselves, and we've been getting referrals for what we do. And so my advice would be to just not quit, stick with it. If you can go to school for 12 years, you should be good at something, right? So a lot of times people want to be an expert at what they do with a year or 2 years of working at it. That's not realistic. If you are really passionate and you love what you do, you'll do it for free anyway. And so if you have a craft, study it as if it's school. Fall in love with it. Dream about it. And that's how you become successful at it, because people can see your passion. A lot of times people don't buy your services, they're buying you. And so if you're a good person, if you think you work hard, you're on time, they're going to hire you. And so my advice is just not to quit. It's gonna always be ups and downs. There'll always be times where you feel like quitting, you want to struggle, but stick with it. It'll be worth it.
Where can people go to find out more about PR pop-ups and Global 360 marketing?
So our website is global360marketing.com. That's a full site of shows our services from PR to website, social media to we actually do commercials. PR pop-up site is prpopups.com, and that shows all of our upcoming events, our past events. If people have or want us to help them out with movies and things of that nature, we can actually come to them. So we've done this not only in Chicago, but we've gone all over the country. We've done events in Mississippi, in Atlanta, in Texas, and LA. We partnered with Dame Dash Studios. We did a full concert with Lupe Fiasco in his studio. So we've just done a number of things all over. So we have schools that call us to do drive-in movies at their school. We're doing one for Chicago State coming up next week. So any way that we can help our community with entertainment and or advertising, getting the word out of their success that they're doing, that's what we're gonna do. So you can reach us at either one of those locations, and my email is pscott@global360marketing.com.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just want to say to everyone that's listening, that's watching, that now is a time in our state, in our country, where you can do what you really want to do. The pandemic has really set everyone down, made people humble themselves, rethink what they do, rethink how they do it. But the opportunity is right now. If you don't do what you want to do right now, what are you waiting for? Because everyone's sitting at home looking for ideas, looking for new things to do. If you have that idea, if you have that goal, go for it now. Don't wait, because in 5 years, all of these funds that are coming will be washed up and gone. So if you're getting this PPP money and this grant money, don't go buy clothes with it. Invest it into your business, because in 5 years, you'll be happy you did.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Remember to make plans to join us again next week for Conversations with the Citizen, the place where real